this video, we'll start to complete the job setup. We'll start with setup type, WCS, and we'll start to do some of the left spindle attributes. I'm going to clue you in on something that I do wrong from time to time. Sometimes I come down and I green check out before I'm done. Be careful not to select the green check until you're completely done. It's easy to do. I'm going to go ahead and accidentally green check out so we can demonstrate how to reopen job setup. You can see I do get a little message that says I don't have a proper pick-off position. And you can see Mastercam doing some calculations in the background. Every time we green check out a job setup, it applies the parameters we have chosen to our job. So to reopen job setup, I'm going to come into our properties and you can see the job setup. So I'm going to reopen this. We'll start to go down through each parameter level. In setup type, we're picking where our starting spindle is. So we're going to start with the left spindle. We could start with the right spindle if we chose to. Under stock type, we have a few different options here. You can read down through them. So it depends on the type of process we're going to be doing. In our case, we're going to do continuous bar stock, pick off stock with a pull and cut off. Manually defined right spindle stock allows us to create stock for the right spindle during setup. This allows us to fully process a part in both spindles before the parting op. In this course, we will process the part on the left spindle, then part it off and process it to the right spindle. An example of how to use the manually defined right spindle stock is in the mill turn course. Next, we need to set the WCS. I'm going to come down to this preview function, and you can see that when I hover over it, it says preview lathe boundaries. And this will be common throughout this product, is that if I hover on things, I'll get a tooltip. I'm going to take a look at the lathe boundaries, and we can see by the location of the part in relation to the outline of the chuck jaws, our part is not properly aligned with the machine. If the model was designed in a manner that it comes in aligned with the machine, all we need to do is verify the WCS is set to top and we're all set. When the part is not properly aligned to Mastercam's coordinate system, we can use the Align Solid Body feature, which you see right here. So I'm going to use the Align Solid Body feature. It wants me to select a feature around the axis of rotation. So I'll select this diameter right here, and we can see it start to move into place. On the left-hand side, this opens up a panel. We're currently in a custom WCS. I'm going to transform to top and green check out. So now if I go back and preview, you can see that I am properly aligned with the chuck jaws and properly aligned in Mastercam. Next up is left spindle, and the first thing it wants us to do is select our part geometry. So I'm going to select our geometry to translate. I'm going to select our model and hit enter to end selection. Now you'll notice that it checks create right spindle geometry for us. It's going to offset it by 100. So like it says, it's going to create some right spindle geometry on a level offset by 100. I do want to create a turned profile. So I'll select this box. We'll use the spin method versus slice. Our color, we're going to keep that green. We will put it on level 20. And for attributes, I'd like to select a little bigger line width. So we'll make that a little bit thicker. We'll say OK. Now this is where I tend to want to green check out, but we want to keep on going down the list here. Under bar stock, we'll set the diameter of the stock by right-clicking in here and picking a diameter of the arc. So I'm going to pick a major diameter here, and it brings back 60. I want a little extra stock for bar stock diameter. I could add it here. I'm just going to type in 62. I have no inside diameter. We are in metric, so I'll leave 0.5 millimeter on the front and the back. Now because I'm going to be pulling this and cutting it off, I need enough stock inside the main spindle. By the time I'm done pulling it, I still have stock to clamp on. So I'm going to grow this bar a little bit by making number of parts 3. As it is, we're going to make 2, and I'm just going to add an extra one in there so we have a little extra bar stock. So if I take a look at this now and preview lathe boundaries, I'll just go to top view, and you can see that I've got a nice long bar. I've got enough where I can pull it and cut it off. You can see that I have geometry in the right spindle, and I'm ready to go to chuck jaws. In chuck jaws, we only have one clamping method available. That's based on what we picked up in setup type for stock type. So as we make our selections, it's going to affect what we see further down in the list. If I go back to chuck jaws, we'll stick with OD1, which is our only option. And all the default settings are fine for these chuck jaws. We'll pick up in tool plane origin Z in the next video.